Velocity, money, peace, and blessings. All right, doing a video continuation of the previous video, which was, I believe it was titled, What You Should Stop in relation to the K2. Uh, you know what I'm saying? I'm now doing houses 6 through 1. So yeah, get into it, right? So K2. Um, K2 in relation to the sixth house, right? And this can apply to you if you have K2 in your sixth house in your birth chart, or if K2 is transiting your sixth house currently, right? Like if your sixth house is Leo from a sidereal Vedic perspective, this can apply to you as well. So, all right, get into it. K2 in relation to the sixth house. Off top, in a nutshell, you really should give up. You really should stop criticizing. Stop talking shit. Stop discriminating or holding bias about anything in regards to the reality. You know what I'm saying? This will only make the manifestation of problems worse. This is actually advice for every fucking body, but with K2 in the six, a person can be quite apt to, you know, be a shit talker of some sort, or you know what I'm saying, just have a knack for criticism or a knack for pointing out, you know, inaccuracies in the arrangement of certain things, situations, environments, areas, people, yada yada yada, etc., etc. K2 in the six itself, in the birth chart, it can showcase an individual who is very intelligent, you know what I'm saying, and is exceptionally skilled. The ability for them to tap into and express their intellect on a material level, even on a intellectual or even in a spiritual sense or whatever. K2 in the six can definitely show that an individual specializes in something. They stand out in relation to their intellectual management capabilities and whatnot, right? Very so sharp minded, right? But what K2 is trying to detox in the sixth house is trying to detox the Prarabdha karmas. So it's trying to detox the debts, the hidden enemies, the health issues. You feel me? It's trying to burn off the bad things. Why is it trying to burn off of these things? Because due to your past life experiences and due to your past life engagements, you've accumulated an overgrowth of these things. So the detoxing of these things is going to pretty much cause you to experience adversity, or experience situations which K2 pretty much in the six is kind of trying to get you to a standpoint to where you stop thinking everything else is the problem. You stop picking. You stop, oh, that person over there, or oh, your son keep stealing people food stamps, or oh, the BBW that you met in high school, and her back tooth was missing, and she headbutted you on y'all first date, and you caught gout. You don't know how you caught gout as a high school nigga, because that's an old nigga's disease, but you caught gout anyway, right? And you've just been dealing with gout ever since, right? On some weird shit. Like, K2, I know that was fucking weird. I don't know why the fuck I brought this. Like, who the fuck got gout? I don't know why the fuck I'm talking about gout right now. That's insanely weird. But moral of the story, K2 in the six is trying to detox the individual's capacity to talk shit and to point out problem. That is what the sixth house is about. The sixth house is about editing. The sixth house is about looking at a particular thing, at a particular mechanism, finding out what's wrong, and editing, refining, cleaning up the dirt, washing that which is bad, right? Recalibrating, right? Troubleshooting. all of these different things. And these aspects of reality are definitely, essential and are definitely needed for certain things. So with K2 and the six, it's not just going to mean you're just going to completely leave the fucking world and have no responsibilities and have to manage nothing and don't have to use your intellect and just going to completely denounce the material journey or the job situation and your depths and all of this yada yada yada, etc., etc. It's not what it means. K2 and the six, you're not just going to completely detach from the sixth house expression. It just means you're going to stop conjuring the lower manifestations of the sixth house, right? The six is quite judgmental. And when it's overdone, it can quite showcase that one genius guy or that one guy, maybe he built the computer when he was 13 and you feel me? He's been fixing cars, pulling out engines out of cars, and since he was 15, and he knows about all the latest technologies, and he knows the law in and out and ancient history, and you feel me, all the proper foods to eat and cleanliness. He's just this super intelligent brainiac guy who's super sharp and super ahead of the rest. You know what I'm saying? But this type of guy can usually turn out to be an asshole, can usually turn out to be one who criticizes or one who talks shit about the rest of the people for not being like him. You feel me? Oh, those dumb niggers. Those niggers and their corner standing and their gang banging, and their gunslinging, and you feel me? They're no job having, baby mama hating niggers. You feel me? And he might have a point. It's not to say that the guy doesn't have a point whatsoever. You feel me? He might have a point in his expressions, but with K2 and the six, it's trying to show like, listen, people are imperfect. Things are imperfect. Everything doesn't have to become perfect in one day or immediately, right? And things can always be improved upon. So it's not for you to look at those people and believe you're better than them, because there's somebody that's probably better than you, right? Don't judge. K2 and the six, you should look to serve, if anything. Plus, K2 and the six will most likely show an individual who's inclined to service in some way, shape, or form as well. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, K2 and the six, if you embody like a critical type of mentality, it definitely will bite you in the ass. K2 and the six, anyway, is definitely going to put the person through certain struggles, real humbling situations that are pretty much bring the person more down to earth and be able to more understand that, maybe those niggers aren't so bad after all. Maybe they're just a product of their niggerish environment, right? But I could keep going on. I done went too long on that shit or whatever. But yeah, all in all, detox, stop the criticism, let go of the criticism. K2 in the fifth, right? And I guess I should read off what it actually says within a particular, I'm saying, in the photo, whatever that I got listed up or whatnot. So K2 in the fifth house brings detachment from children, creativity, and speculative gains may indicate past life karmic ties and whatnot, right? K2 in the fifth will bring a detachment from the earthly standpoint of culture. So I don't know if if you're black and you're proud, you know what I'm saying, or you're a part of the Italian mafia or the Japanese Shih Tzu clan, whatever the fuck or whatever. It'll detach you from the earthly racial background gangbang custom, but you will get to understand the deeper truths of the culture, of the lineage, the metaphysical truths, the hidden truths, you know what I'm saying? K2 and the fifth is something that can actually show uh ancestral connection, you know what I'm saying? And a person just having abilities bestowed upon them that they didn't necessarily have to work for. You know what I'm saying? Fifth house is the house of past life punya or good karma. So when Ketu comes here, you feel me, it'll usually be good karmas in relation to the seership of Ketu and whatnot. Right? So yeah. Uh K2 and the fifth again, you know what I'm saying? Fifth it, fifth shows administration. Administration can be just the administration of a household, if you will, taking care of your kids, right? So K2 and the fifth, a lot of the times I've seen individuals with displacement not necessarily have kids, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to have kids if K2 is in the fifth house alone, right? You know what I'm saying? So don't just see this and believe that you can't have kids. Your K2's in the fifth house. You got to go beat up a gorilla to heal that karma, and you know what I'm saying? Whatever the fuck, right? Um, but yeah, what should you stop with K2 being in the fifth house? K2 in the fifth is going to naturally push the individual to stop the pridefulness. Stop the clinging to their identity, especially with things that surround their identity really come from the blessings of the parent or really come from your father, teaching you this skill at this particular age or your ancestors bestowing this particular gift upon you to where, you know what I'm saying, you can understand these particular things. K2 in the fifth is like just stop the egoism, you know? And K2 in the fifth is definitely going to want to gang bang something in some way, shape, or form a lot of the times. Not necessarily always, you feel me? It depends upon the sign, the aspects, you feel me? Some people's chart, it might not necessarily be a problem at all, but I've definitely seen some charts. People at K2 in the fifth and are extremely egoistic and extremely culture based, you know what I'm saying? So it definitely depends, right? So yeah, stop that. K2 in the fifth, it's administration. It often put a person in positions to where they feel like they might not necessarily be able to govern their sectors, be the manager, or govern the kids like they want to, or even govern themselves in some way. You know what I'm saying? But again, it definitely gives a special level of knowledge. K2 in the fourth, right? So, what do you stop? What do you give up? What do you let go of within K2 in the fourth? You know what I'm saying? K2 in the fourth is great for internalization, but you don't just want to feel like or believe the internal solves all things, right? K2 in the fourth, you're going to withdraw. You know what I'm saying? You can be a person that's naturally meditative, even if you don't even know what meditation is in the traditional sense, even if you don't, you know what I'm saying, fold your legs together and put a red dot on your head and chant to a picture of a naked Asian goddess with 82 arms and a body full of meerkat vaginas or whatever the fuck you niggas do, right? You don't have to do all that for the meditation, right? You could just be a person who naturally knows how to, you know what I'm saying, just sit down in thought. You know what I'm saying? Sit down on the internalize things that people say. You feel me? And you definitely want to stop taking stuff to heart too. Like you take it, but take it with a grain of salt. You feel me? You accept the criticisms. You don't just look for the soft spot or the soft patch or the love or whatnot. Uh, K2 in the fourth. What else about K2 in the fourth? That's right. So if you feel as if the internal state is lacking peace in the moment, the fourth house can often expect things to come easy. It's the natural house of the moon, you know, Cancer being the natural sign of the fourth house or whatever. The moon is like a baby in a way. The baby cries for the bottle, the baby expects the bottle to show up immediately or at least shortly after, right? You know what I'm saying? The baby pretty much gets anything the baby wants. You know, the baby bib, the baby throw up, the baby take a shit. You wipe the baby ass. The fourth house is where it's the sukhabhava, right? It's where things just flow to us. You feel me? In the universal mother, the universal father. You feel me? Just blissfully grace and bless us with the attributes of the fourth house so that we're always comfortable and that our needs and our wants are always met with the fourth. But with K2 in the fourth, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of detaching the factor of ease in receiving that, I guess you could say, divine support or that familiar support or whatever you want to call it. So there can be a bit of internal strife when K2 comes into the fourth house, but it's really much so about understanding the 10th, which Rahu will be posited within the 10th house. You know what I'm saying? It might not be all right now, but the lack is teaching you an exceptionally great lesson if you're able to just sit, listen, be still, be unmoved, and continue to work, continue to do what needs to be done in order to make the manifestation of, you know, what is needed in order for you to survive, then later on thrive and whatnot, right? K2 in the third house. I'm supposed to be reading these shits off. I ain't even read fourth or fifth house out, I don't think. But K2 in the third, bold but unpredictable efforts, detached from siblings, strong intuition, right? K2 in the third, you really just want to stop doing automatic things. K2 in the third can a lot of the times be like an automaton or, you know, your actions. Even, let me slow it down, right? So K2 in the third, it can give you a specialization of being resourceful, understanding how to use your hands. Maybe you're a mechanic. Maybe you know how to hack games or some shit. You feel me? Maybe you know a little HVAC, little construction. Maybe you know how to box, even, right? You know what I'm saying? Maybe you know how to write. Maybe you good with your speech in some way. Whatever the fuck, yada yada yada, etc. etc. Maybe you're just a very brave nigga. You just a very don't give a fuck type of nigga. You take a lot of risk. You know what I'm saying? All of these can be seen with K2 in the third house or whatnot, right? It's a very can be very resourceful placement for K2. It's not too bad to be honest, but you know K2 in the third can have a propensity of action before thought, or yeah. So stop just acting. Stop the impulse. Stop the automation of action, right? I would say stop which is going to be difficult for K2 in the third, but kind of stop the small talk too. You know, stop as many habits as you can that bring some type of distraction or bring some type of interruption into your daily focus of single mindedness, right? Rahu was in the ninth. Rahu is chasing single mindedness. It's chasing truth. It's chasing knowledge. It's chasing gyan, understanding, spiritual blueprint of the universe and all of these different things, right? So yeah, with K2 in the third house or whatnot, what else would I say? Detox who you hang around, definitely. Whether even if you have, whether it's your literal siblings, you know what I'm saying, or you know, friends, homies, you know, people that's in close proximity to you. Detox. You definitely have to make sure you detox who you hang around. So yeah, cut people off, but try to replace those people with even better individuals and those who support you to grow in a beneficial direction. You know what I'm saying? K2 in the third will naturally prompt you to do this. You know what I'm saying? K2 in the third can experience a great deal of betrayal in a way. I ain't gonna lie, I've seen a guy with Mars and K2 in the third. It's funniest shit ever. Niggas who funny, it's like people who actually meant good for him, you know, people who actually supported him in beneficial way, he always cut him off. You know what I'm saying? He always stopped dealing with him. But this guy would let the most snakiest reptilian form reptiles around him and get done dirty, and the shit come out that he got done dirty, and he still, you know what I'm saying, would allow those guys to be around for whatever reason. He just couldn't see it for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying? Like he cut off all the good homies and only fuck with bad homies. I don't know why, but yeah, detox your friend circle when K2 comes in the third. You know what I'm saying? And try to keep away from frivolous conversations as much as you can. And yeah, taking automatic actions, not necessarily thinking. Meditate before you take action with K2 in the third. Hitler had K2 in the third. He had some other planets as well. I think Jupiter and Moon. He was a very impulsive guy. You feel me? And he was a terrible. He was terrible at war strategy, and you know was constantly making bad decisions and shit. Almost got Germany completely fucking obliterated. Which Germany got damn near completely fucking obliterated, right? In the end, right? So yeah, K2 in the second. K2 in the second. Reduce consumption. You can't stop consumption, but reduce the urge or the desire to chase taste, whether that be physical, you know, actual taste of food, or the clothes taste, or you know what I'm saying, family experience taste, money taste, you know, bank account taste, all of these. They're like reduce the urge to feel that stimulation and to feel that taste. You know what I'm saying? Also, second house, stop hoarding. You feel me? Second house is like stockpiling grains and shit. You know what I'm saying? Not literally, it can translate to that, but you feel me? Stockpiling grains is what people used to do at one point in time. Today's time, you feel me? Holding on to your dollars or whatever, you know. Second house, K2 in the second can show somebody who's great at saving money, but situations usually happen to where money is just like mysteriously taken away from them, like money mysteriously escapes. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're great with managing money, but at the same time they're not as crazy. Or it's not that they're not. It's like they're great with managing money, but life provides circumstances as to where they can't manage the money properly. But yeah, K2 in second, hoarding too. Do not hoard. Like stop thinking that you have to save onto this or this material or this family member, or oh, I have to deal with them because you know what I'm saying, they're family, or that's your brother, or that's your sister, or that's your uncle, your auntie, you know, yada yada yada, etc. etc. Detox the materials and the familial familial or Marion, however you say that word, detox those things which truly no longer serve either one of y'all in a beneficial manner, right? Detox the belief that just let go the belief that security is found in physical manifestation and taste, right? Because Ketu in a second, it definitely will take you down experiences as to where you could possibly almost lose your life, or you can lose a lot. You can feel a lot of pain by way of you choosing to have something, or to hold on to something, or to save some type of money, or to be too money conscious, or to allow certain people into your circle or whatever, to try to cling to a certain sense of family or some shit like that or whatever. You can feel a lot of pain in relation to all of that. You feel me? Whether it's by a decision that you made, or it's just something that K2 brought to you. K2 in the second will often show a person who doesn't have a great stability within the family structure anyway. Oftentimes they have to leave the home randomly at a young age. You know what I'm saying? Or the parents or the family is toxic or whatever, and they just decide to run away to a different location, or maybe the family die off and while they're young or whatever the fuck, right? So K2 is going to bring it. Is going to be in relation to certain things the individual does, but K2 with any house is going to bring experiences that are inescapable, and it's just lesson, right? So, yeah. K2 in the first house, right? Mystical personality, detachment from self identity, and spiritual inclination, right? So, thing about the first house, you know what I'm saying? It's the me house, the identity, the personality, the, you feel me, my way or the highway, you feel me, the mission, the objective that you chasing in life, you know what I'm saying? Your person to person, and how you express yourself, right? So with K2 in the first, self-reliance is good to a certain degree, but it's time to stop being so compact and so reliant on your individual body, your individual physical capability, and your body. You know what I'm saying? You will be put into situations as to where, a certain goal or a certain mission or a certain door that you want to open, it can't be open unless you, a lot of the times, have a partner that's beside you, and a lot of the times that might show up via the way of a relationship, and then if not a relationship, it might just show up in the way of a business contract, or somebody that you have to talk to, somebody that you kind of have to compromise with and reason with and negotiate with in order for what you want to come about in manifestation. You know what I'm saying? Well, Rahu in the seventh, Ketu in the first, you have to detach and not respond to disrespect or somebody showing you an ugly side of their self. You have to learn how to not take that too personally, and how to really investigate that, to really see the truth of this particular matter, that particular encounter. You feel me? What were they telling you? How can you learn from what they're telling you? And again, I mean, not again, because I didn't say it at all, right? Well, first of all, it's never okay, I feel like, for anybody to just disrespect you or talk shit to you if you've done them no wrong. But oftentimes, when a person is talking shit to you or disrespecting you, is some type of reason there. You might not have done wrong, but it's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? And it's clarity and wisdom to be found if you can just not take the situation personal, and not feel like you gotta beat a ram in a ram contest, and you know what I'm saying, do shit your way, right? Don't be egoistic with K2 in the first house, right? Don't just consider yourself and what you feel and who you are and all of these different things. K2 in the first. What is something else I could say? I would say with Ketu in the first, don't don't make your interactions about you. I would say don't even tell people too much about yourself or what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Tell them to the extent I guess to where you would have to, but more so try to be more of a listening ear. You ain't got to be fake. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't got to be a deceiver. Rahu in the seventh is going to make you a person who's naturally able to manipulate, sweet talk. You know what I'm saying? Be attractive to the opposite sex and whatnot. It's going to make you naturally able to do these things or whatever. But with K2 in the first, like, just find that boundary between self and others. You know what I'm saying? Don't overstate yourself. Don't over focus on yourself or whatnot. But at the same time, don't lean too much into the Rahu and get the lying and manipulating and telling bitches everything they want to hear, and twiddling coochie holes and you feel me, leading the masses astray or whatever the fuck, right? Relax.